5:01. Please rise for the pledge.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thanks for coming. This is the board.
2/3 of it anyway.
Yeah, 2/3 of the board. All right. Let's go to the approval of minutes.
I make a motion to approve the minutes of the April 8th meeting.
Second. Those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Approval of expenditures.
Can I explain why that number is so large for the claims real quick?
Yeah, it is. I didn't even know
Yeah.
that.
Number one, the playground equipment's on,
Yeah.
so that's a healthy chunk of it.
Which is all grant.
Mhm.
Yep.
Yeah.
And there's also, I don't wanna get, like, every year this time of year, we get a check from the sped co-op for, this year it's a little over 20,000. And it's essentially a flow-through process, so they send us a check, we deposit it into the miscellaneous fund, we then transfer money from the general fund, it's already been spent, over to the miscellaneous fund, and then we write them a check back for the amount out of the general fund. It's essentially so they can, then bill Medicaid for certain purposes and that sort of thing. So that's included in there, even though we've received money and it's not really, you just don't see the revenue coming in, but you see the expense going out when you go for the claims list, so.
But the sped money, what exactly is sped money?
Special ed money?
Oh, okay.
Yep.
special ed.
Yeah.
Right, I thought it was- And the technology thing, the technology account, is that, thought I saw one for about, what is it? Is this for the whole year, is this a whole month? Is this something that happens?
The Technologic, is that what you're
Yeah,
looking at?
technological.
That's for a month, so right now, those costs will go down next year. John's been talking with Justin about revamping those. We pay $25 a month for IT services this year.
Mhm. That
John-
was per month then?
That is, that is per month, and then there's various little things that have been, the firewall, we just moved the fax over to an email fax service.
Which you'll also see a charge from the alarm company.
I did
They,
see that.
they installed a new system that goes through our internet instead of our phone lines. So we actually have discontinued CenturyLink link.
Okay.
So you'll see that there'll no longer be, starting soon, that $80 bill, and then
Okay.
none of the fax bills.
And is your Wi-Fi sturdy enough to be able, I mean, you guys got.
Fiber optic.
It dang well better be after everything.
Did you guys get fiber optics up there?
No.
I don't wanna talk about that.
Well, they didn't drill through the easement, so
But I did not.
we had the power in our hand to shut it down.
So there has been some projects this month that, had some added expenses, but it'll be worth it in the long run.
Okay, such as?
The alarm company service
Okay, that
charge.
one, okay.
Now is the phone running through Spectrum also?
No,
Yes.
no. The
If
phone,
you canceled CenturyLink.
phone is Granite technology.
But
Phone- the
it
phone
goes
system.
through the fiber.
Well, the fiber, so we pay internet costs to Spectrum, we pay Granite Technology for the
Okay.
phone lines, but they kind of
Just
all.
classifying, you said you got rid of CenturyLink.
Well, that was strictly the fax line for $80 a month, so yeah, that's,
Who faxes anymore?
nobody should, it should go away.
There's a few people, one of them is beach transportation, the other one is doctors.
Yeah, I was gonna say, I was doctors. I say, anything else on the Tracy yet?
No?
Okay,
Oh, seems pretty standard.
it looked, yeah, I thought I understood it too. Okay, so I would like to make a motion to approve the expenditures of payroll for $39,951.64, claims for $76,861.32, and activities for $10,344.85.
Second. Those in favor? Aye.
Aye.
Motion carries. No public presentations, communications and reports, principal.
Got lots tonight. First, I want to update you on our fundraiser. It is over and the items are expected to ship here either Thursday or Friday for the catalog orders and the student prizes. We ended up raising $2,000. So pretty good overall. That's definitely, a couple of good sized field trips.
Weren't you looking for 3? Is that what the goal was?
Well, the goal was 3 in sales, which we went over that. I'm happy with 2.
Yeah.
3 would have been even better.
That's pretty good.
But for 35 students, I mean,
Yeah.
2's really good. We had a great participation level. We had state testing for Smarter Balance the week of the 22nd. We had the honor of having OPI do a site visit and inspection of our testing. April 24th, I don't have the final report, but in my debrief afterwards, they said everything went well. There was no irregularities. They were very impressed with our teaching staff. We had a really great Title I family game night on April 29th, and we had 7 families attend the game night, and we had a bunch of games that kids got to take home and be able to keep those games. So it was a great night, lots of fun and lots of learning happening. Today was the County Quiz Bowl competition, and I took a team to the competition. We had 6 Woodman students attend. It was our first time doing that, and they did really well. We went head to head with a lot of much bigger schools, such as all the middle schools in MCPS, Frenchtown, Target Range, Hellgate, and we did really well. And we, of course, didn't win this time, but it was a great learning experience for them. For example, when we're up against Frenchtown, we got 95 points. Frenchtown got 105. We tied with Bonner at one point, so we did really well. Great day for kids. They got a nice catered lunch from Chick-fil-A, some ice cream, and they got a pretty unique learning experience getting to meet all these students from other schools that are interested in academics and in trivia, and be able to get out and learn things. So it was a really great day. We have coming up a kindergarten through 2nd grade field trip this Wednesday to Turner Farms in Fort Missoula. We have 3rd through 5th grade going to Lee Metcalf Wildlife Refuge May 13th. We have our spring concert May 22nd at 2 p.m. We have our Lake Como field trip May 23rd. Field day on May 29th. 8th grade graduation May 30th at 5:30 p.m. here at the school. I did a survey for the summer program through our ELO grant, through the ESSER monies. We have program money for this summer. So we're going to do 2 weeks for kindergarten through 8th grade. One is in June, and that will be the week of June 3rd. So June 3rd through 7th. And we have 13 families interested in that week. So lots of kids interested in that. We are going to provide transportation as well as do a field trip that week, and also lots of great learning. It should be a lot of fun and a great time. We have a grant from the Montana Rural Schools to send staff to the OPI Summer Conference in Bozeman, and we've got 3 staff attending that, Mariah Bishop and Lexi Gruba and myself. We also have a bunch of other conferences that teachers are attending this year too. There's been a lot of free conferences available to teachers this summer. So Jill's going to several of them. There's just lots of great opportunities. So lots of things going on throughout the school day. May's going to be very busy, and it's kind of
Are
a
you gonna fit any
bracing-
school into that? Looks like
that's kind of how May is for school. There's a lot of like extra things, but there's also a lot of learning going on too.
during it.
A lot of wrapping up of learning of the units.
May's always a fun month, isn't
It
it?
is. For operations, you might notice that the playground is completed. So that was finished up this weekend, and talked with them and everything. You'll notice that we brought in a lot of wood chips. I wasn't expecting to have to purchase quite so much, but what happened was we were going to place the new structure right in the spot of the old structure, but we ended up having to move it several feet to the west because the amount of cement wasn't removable without doing a major excavation project. What they did instead of drilling holes is they had dug trenches. So a lot of that cement, some of it was like 3 feet by 12 feet, and we don't even know how deep. So it would have been a lot more expensive than planned to do that. And we were able to easily just move things a little bit to the west. But with that, I wanted to make sure that we had a good amount of the wood chips down, make that safe. So we brought that in. The company that actually, the subcontractor actually reduced their rate a little bit for us to help pay for that, so I thought that was very kind of them. But you can see that we have the playground structure and then 2 tetherball units. Pest control, inside we're doing great. You might notice that the ground squirrels have moved in for the season and been doing their work all over, digging holes and stuff, so they're
There
multiplying.
might be a few less.
That might be a good thing.
That's a good thing.
So just wanted to make people aware of that. When last year, when I did talk to the pest removal company, to have them take care of that was quite an extra fee.
Babies haven't even come out yet.
Right.
Yeah, maybe if somebody is taking care of that on the weekend when nobody's here and
Well, I don't
they're disappearing.
I don't have any knowledge of any sort of activities.
We won't tell you then.
So May 21st, I've scheduled DNRC to come out and take a look, particularly behind our building, to give us information and recommendations to make sure that everything is as safe as it can be for fires and whatnot. They do that for free. And then give those recommendations to our landscaping company and grounds company. They've been talking to me, and we definitely want to make sure we get rid of some of the brush, things like that, especially as we move into a potentially dangerous fire season.
Oh, it ain't potential, it is.
I was being a little generous there. So that's May 21st.
Good thing is, I was just up there the other day. There ain't much back there behind. Once you get past that first wall, it's pretty open.
Well, the good thing is it's burned through here a few times, so hopefully that'll keep us safe. We're gonna talk about 2 building projects later on, but I do want to say that for the next meeting, there's some other things to keep up with discussing, depending upon funding within our building reserve fund. One is doors, particularly for building 2. These doors, even though I have them repaired a few times, continue to have problems with sticking and warping and whatnot. They're getting old, and the time's gonna come where we're gonna have to replace the doors. Building 3's also had some trouble with some of them. Bathrooms in building 2 is something I'd love at some point to get on the schedule for remodeling the ones in this building. They could really use a little bit of work. Also, there's a window in building 1 that needs replaced as well. So in addition, just to kind of give you the big picture, there is some other small projects that I'd like to see us doing in the next couple of years, as well as the HVAC and the window covering.
Was there some money from, House Bill 2 that was there for last year, that went through last year for building? I heard there was a bunch of money that went through.
There is a
for building.
there is a share portion you can talk about.
Well, the building reserve, we can permissively levy some money, and then they've got the major maintenance fund that supplements a good chunk of what we can get. So the first couple of years they started the permissive levy, we had to permissively levy the whole thing, and then I think it was the third year it kicked in where instead of levying $20,000, we levied $4,000, and then the major maintenance fund from the state does the other 16. I don't know if that's the same thing or not.
I'm not sure, I just heard that there was 77 million in a building fund, it was House Bill 5 from the state of Montana.
I have no idea which one that is for sure, I'd have to look.
I know, gosh, what was it? Several years ago when I was a superintendent, there was a bill that passed that provided a bunch of money for upgrades, and we did an HVAC replacement with it. I know they're talking about doing that again. I think stuff might be used up.
Well, this was supposed to have gone through last year in the legislature, and it was House Bill 5. So if there's some money there that would help us with some of those costs for a building, that would be nice.
We might have to look into that a little bit and see if that, I haven't heard that particular one applying to us.
Was it actually?
It's a short version. There's also, I'm on a listserv for the Department of Energy as well. And, got some emails, unfortunately. The round was already spent, that they had available, but they have more money coming as well. A couple schools in Montana got it. I pulled this up, so I'll read through this tonight. It's 46 pages.
Yeah, you might wanna check it and see if there's something there that can help with some of those costs.
Parent group, we had a great meeting the other day, and we did a lot of planning for end of the year, so planning the barbecue for field day, and we planned a coin drive that's ongoing right now, and if you look in the bins, kids have brought in a lot of change. And we also talked about Teacher Appreciation Week, which is this week, so happy Teacher Appreciation Week. I had some plans for that, that's gonna be happening this week.
We appreciate you. Thank you.
That's what I've got for my report. Any questions from anyone?
General purpose, public input. Speak now for a world of peace. Oh, down to order of business, old business.
Actually, we have additions.
Oh, every time I skip it and then you say something. All right, additions and acceptance.
So I have 2 staff resignations for your acceptance to add in. You can pass it to Jim. So we've had first and second grade teacher Jason Mitchell resign, and then our music teacher and after school teacher Heidi Snar resign. So I'd like to thank them both for their service to our district.
And Jason taught what, second grade, third grade?
First and second.
First and second.
could just make a motion to accept resignations.
I make a motion to accept those resignations from,
Jason Mitchell, Irish
Jason Mitchell and Heinz Schnarr.
Second, those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Motion carries.
That was it.
Old
Yeah.
business. Early literacy 4-year-old enrollment.
Yeah, I only have information. I have one student that that I tested and enrolled in the program. And we have another student that's interested, so, I'll set up that testing. First student was in district, this next student would be out of district.
So right now we just have two?
So we officially have one and maybe two.
Maybe two, okay.
We got a little bit of time.
Okay, yeah, we got all summer. Probably, or when is it supposed to be?
We have all summer for in district.
In district.
But out of district, June
June
10th.
first, June tenth, okay. Do we have any more leads on any?
A little bit.
So,
We've done a lot of advertising, I feel.
so if we just have a couple students that we accept in that program, how will that work for, okay, we're gonna obviously have to get a new teacher for,
We have it right now.
we do have it right.
We have a pre-K and a kindergarten, but it's no longer pre-K, it's early literacy 4-year-olds. So it's the same thing.
So it's combined with kindergarten. We're multi-age, so
Okay, so that's what I was.
they're in the
wondering.
same classroom.
Combined, right.
Yeah, we're just eliminating the pre-K title,
Okay.
Things
just
are
to make
always
things
changing.
more complicated. First it was preschool, now it's pre-K.
Okay. Alrighty.
Revised policy 2500, currently policy 2055, second reading. It was the minor wording change.
Mhm.
It's the first blue one.
I make a motion to accept the revision that replaces 2055 to 2500.
Second. Those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Motion carried. Policy 3110, entrance placement and transfer, second reading, discussion possible motion.
So this policy we did definitely work on quite a bit because this does affect our 4-year-old enrollment. So there's a few things that were optional that I changed within this and whatnot. And different possibilities. Not every district's doing 4-year-old programs.
You just cut this stuff out, right?
Yeah, we're adding the red line there that talks about
Cut
the
out
early
the others.
literacy and everything else beyond that, that we've had the last couple of years with the 4-year-old program this way.
No. I just have to deal with all that, no.
You can testify at the state legislature.
I make a motion to accept the revision of 3110. Entrance placement and transfer.
I'll second that. Those in favor? Aye. Motion carried. Policy 3410, student health, physical screening, examination, second reading, discussion, possible motion. This one's the same as the first reading, right? No change?
Yeah, it's exactly the same.
No
I make
change.
a motion to accept the revised 3410.
Second? I didn't ask that.
Okay.
I looked at the
I-
crowd to see if they had any objections.
I didn't hear anything.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Motion carried. New policies. Policy 2165, early literacy targeted intervention program, second reading, discussion, and possible motion.
Yep, so you can see this one had, options as well. We wanna have a full-time program, not a half-time program. We don't want the home-based program, that's actually more of they're subcontracting most of that out to some nonprofits and for-profit agencies. That's where you're providing home instruction and whatnot, and that wouldn't fit. I don't know any, public school districts doing that much. And we'll need this to have our program.
I make a motion to accept 2165.
Second? Those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Motion carried. Policy 8110, bus routes and schedules, second reading, possible motion. Oh, it's the same as the first reading.
Yeah.
Very well did it.
Probably have some copy different.
Yeah, well, I have to, my copier at home is strictly black and white, so I have to use the one at the office. And this one we got a few months ago, and every time it's got color and you need a copy, it turns the page blue, it does weird things, and it's just, I don't
Waste of
understand
ink.
it. It is.
This is all because of changes in state law in the last legislative session, so it's the next one.
It's the same as the first reading.
Yes, I move to accept, policy 8110.
Second? Those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Motion carried. Policy 8132, activity trips, second reading, discussion, possible motion.
So one of the interesting things within the law, transportation for special activities, that's hinted at here but not specified, is you actually can only drive, 8-person, vehicles or larger.
8. So, are you talking about vans?
So you might notice the
Bus.
California plays
Yeah,
out there,
yeah.
that's me,
Okay.
which is what I took the students in. So it's actually state law
Instead
now.
of getting a bus.
You can't use cars, like when I was in Hamilton, we had a fleet of like Impalas. You can no longer use, anything less than 8 seats, for student transportation. It's now state law.
I was curious why there was some California person.
I
parked
know.
right
I was
there.
too.
You should have seen my disappointment when I saw that license plate at the rental
I
place.
can't
I'm like,
believe you didn't
really?
get shot.
I was a little worried about it. Like, why California? Any other state plate? It's a nice ringtone. Minus that.
Okay, I make a motion to accept policy 8132.
Second? Those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Motion carried. Status of the custodian search, discussion, possible motion.
I don't have a motion for you today. I've had one interested applicant come and actually tour the facility with me. And she went through kind of her expertise and, is very experienced. Has actually worked at, I believe Hellgate Elementary, and I think Stevensville, as well as housekeeping and whatnot. I gave her an application, so I'll follow up with her about getting that application back. But I was very impressed when I did a tour around the facility with her knowledge school custodial needs and whatnot. With the job not starting till August, we might not get a huge pool of people contacting us, but I did want to get it out there, especially since I had an interested person.
And did you talk to was it Work Buddy, is that what it was called?
Yep. So after the last board meeting, we let them know, and I actually talked to them before, about our changes, and then we sent a certified letter to the company that they received. So, they had noticed more than 30 days, which is what our contract says, so. Good to go on that.
So we'll just review it at another date.
Yeah, hoping to have, maybe a possible motion for you at the June meeting.
All right, new business. 24-25 out of district students.
So with the change in law, it works a little bit differently than it did before, mostly on our part from the administrative standpoint. So after your approval, I will send a letter out not only to the parents stating that they've been accepted or not accepted from this board meeting, but I'll also send a letter to the other school districts saying, because what's gonna happen, and I've already received a letter from Target Range, is that we will get billed from those other school districts a year later. Everything has a year lag time.
You get billed because the money follows the student.
Yes.
Yeah, so if the kiddo's only here half a year, then it's only half a year tuition.
And it actually is gonna really mostly affect taxpayers, because then that district is gonna do a
Miss it tuition levy.
yeah, it's all gonna go through tuition fund, so.
We pay from the we pay from the tuition fund, but it gets deposited into our general fund.
So those are the applications that we've received so far. The majority are students that are already attending Woodman School and are in good standing. And then I believe there is one new student going into kindergarten. So I have gone through any available records. When kids are coming into kindergarten, there isn't records from another school. But in this case, I actually had records and a letter from the daycare that the parents provided, so.
So how many are new here, just one?
I think it's the one at the
That's
kiddo at
the
the
last
bottom
one?
there.
Okay, just the kindergarten one. And the other students
They've
have
been here.
They're all
been
returned.
here and doing well.
So it's my recommendation to approve all the students this month on the list.
Okay,
You could do that as one motion.
okay. I, move to accept the students, out of district students on this sheet of paper.
Second. Those in favor? Aye. Motion carried. 2024-25 staffing, tenured teaching staff, 24-25 discussion and possible motion.
That's me.
I was gonna say, Jill's all listed by herself up there.
Are you the only tenured
Yeah.
She's the
student?
only tenured teacher, yeah.
Well,
That's why I looked right at her.
my message.
I saw that.
Yeah, yeah. I figured it'd be easier just to round up to three, just since 500.
Cause we'll wanna pull for,
What do you mean?
because we are granting tenure.
I thought the first, didn't your email say that the first partial year would count? Or not?
Yeah.
Yes, right. As a full year,
Yes,
so this would be her fifth or third year.
right.
I'm so confused by what you're saying right now.
So I'll be granting tenure.
So granting and granting for those two.
Right.
Right, okay, we're on the same page, we're just saying it differently.
So, I always pull granting tenure separately.
Separately too, okay.
Yeah. So Jill is the only currently tenured staff.
So is the motion to accept her?
For the 24-25 school year.
Yeah, that's the recommendation.
Did you want us to?
Sure. I will
Okay.
stay.
Good.
Hey,
You'll offer
we
me a
save that for
contract, I
public
will
comment.
Oh,
probably
save
sign.
that for the public comment?
Good, I have one for you.
I make the motion to accept the Jill, our tenured teaching staff for the 24-25 school year.
I second. That's all we get, is a thumbs up? No comment?
I will comment that I'm very happy that Jill is staying for another year because she is a tremendous teacher and Woodman is very fortunate to have her.
Yes, I would have to agree.
Those in favor? Alright, motion carried. Welcome back for another year.
Yes, thank you.
Non-tenured teaching staff, 24-25.
So for non-tenured, we actually have two staff that are up for tenure, for granting tenure. They've been here 3 years, and that is Mariah Bishop, our kindergarten teacher, and Dr. Emily Salee, our counselor, who's part-time. So my recommendation is to approve their tenure.
I make a motion to accept the non-tenured teaching staff, 24-25, Mariah Bishop. I make a motion to
For
approve.
tenure.
The non-tenured, or to the tenure?
To grant
To
tenure.
grant tenure.
To grant tenure, excuse me. Teaching staff to Mariah Bishop and Ms. Sally for the teaching staff 24-25 year school year.
I second. Just head nods again. Alright. Those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Motion carried. Now we go back to that, to the non-tenure.
Sorry to throw you.
Okay.
I didn't break it down.
So we have two of those that are tenured now,
This is,
accepting those ones, and then who are the, okay, then
Yes. Now we're the non.
okay.
So we had two resignations. So I'd like to recommend Alexis Gruba for hiring for next year.
Okay, cool. I would make a motion to accept the non-tenured teaching staff Lex Gruba for the 24-25 school year.
I second. Another thumbs up.
No, I will also say that Woodman is very fortunate to have Lexi as well and
Yes.
so happy that she will stay on.
Those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Motion carried. Welcome back.
Thank you.
Principal, 24-25. Do we need to clarify?
With
John
that
Martin is
strong-
principal.
We probably should. I make a motion to accept the principal 24-25 school year.
I second. Head nods all around. Those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Motion carried. Classified staff, 24-25.
Okay, so we have Mariah Cruz, who's our secretary as well as a paraeducator, and Jessica Bird, who is our clerk and business manager.
And you can just do Mariah's today, cause at the next meeting, we'll be doing my official appointment report and all that. If you still
Okay.
want me.
Is that Mariah Bishop again?
Mariah Cruz.
Cruz.
Two Mariahs.
Okay.
Cruz is the office.
Okay, that's, okay. So I make a motion to accept, Mariah Cruz for the, as a classified staff for the 24-25 school year.
I second. Three head nods. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Motion carried.
And I just wanna throw out real quick, if we happen to pass the levy tomorrow, we'll revisit these to talk about, potential potential increases to salary above and beyond just the steps and stuff we talked about.
And then we have to have a board meeting at the end of the month.
On the 20th, I think
Yeah.
it was, for election stuff, and I'm also, we get to revisit our ESSER plans one final time. One more time. But yeah, if we need to, we can then throw that on there also.
Alright, bids for HVAC replacement.
So this has been an ongoing project in this building with the HVAC all year. So after many conversations that we've had, I decided to get bids for doing a replacement, especially when multiple HVAC people were telling me that the units here are long past their lifetime. So I have and I tried to put my name on there too, a quote from Hotchkiss Heating and Air out of Missoula. Comfort Systems USA is number 2 out of Missoula. And then Metal Works of Montana, which is also Sentinel HVAC out of Missoula as well. So when I met with the people, I wanted to know what are our options for this building and whatnot. It's kind of a unique setup, the way they did the HVAC. They actually ran most of the piping into the cement underneath this building to a few different outlets throughout the building. And there, as I showed you, there's the 2 electric furnaces which they put in 1991. So that's the vintage for those. It was probably propane or whatnot, it looks like, before that. So we have some options. We can do a straight across replacement of electric heat. And even when you do a heat pump, you always have an electric heater as a backup too, linked with the heat pump. The other option that we can do is a heat pump, and heat pumps are much more cost effective with your electric bill. They're newer technology. They also provide air conditioning as well as heating. They do involve having units outside the building that piping would have to go to. I think heat pumps is the way to go eventually. I'm not sure if we have the funds to fully go to that. Kind of what I looked at some options is either doing a replacement of both the electric heaters. And I did find out from all 3 companies that they are compatible with heat pumps. So we could add a heat pump on later on to these electric furnaces. They're all compatible for that. The other option I thought of is if we just wanted to focus on this east side of the building, because that's the unit that's been failing on a regular basis and not starting. The other unit is working. But again, with 1991 and them only supposed to be having a 15-year lifespan or whatnot, we're way past that. So kind of my thoughts was either we focus and we could get the whole chicken caboodle for this side of the building, or we get both heaters. The other thing we could do is just get one electric heater, maybe even less. Now, when it came to the different quotes, Comfort Systems and Hotchkiss are pretty similar. I found Metal Works to be quite a bit more. They actually wanted to do a lot more electrical work and actually replace a bunch of our electrical panels outside. And the other company said that they felt they didn't need to do that. So if you look through Hotchkiss with no heat pumps,
It's 4,800 piece.
yeah,
4,900.
so 9,792 for 2.
9,100 for temporary.
And, yep. And then if we wanted to go with.
And that was for both of them.
Yep. And then if we wanted to go with the heat pump, $14,000 for one in the electric heater, for the east side of the building. So 14,842 from Hotchkiss, 14,181 plus 5,100 in electrical from Metalworks, and 15,639 plus 1,361 electrical from Comfort Systems. Comfort Systems is a really big company that's providing service to a lot of people in this area.
Nationwide.
Yeah. And Hotchkiss is a fairly, regular sized outfit out of Missoula. Any thoughts? We've got some options. The one thing we have to do is at the very least replace that heater. That's the bare minimum we need to do.
So for two of them with Comfort Systems was 9,200.
9,700 through Hotchkiss for both of them. Where's our funding at for this kind of stuff?
We build-
Building reserve. By the time July first floats around, we'll have a new set of chunk of money coming in from the permissive levy and the voted levy. We've got 2 more years of the voted levy that passed a couple years ago.
So we'd have enough to do both of them.
Both, yes, both, just the
Just the
heaters, when we
furnace.
start, yes, when we start talking heat pumps, then it gets to be a little more, but
both-
yes,
just
definitely.
doing both the furnaces.
Yep.
I'd feel comfortable with, probably 15 grand at the most.
At the most, depending on how you wanted to spend it, yeah.
That's why I didn't even put really in my numbers to recommend heat pumps for both. I feel we just don't have enough to do heat pumps for both in 1
The
year.
other things going on.
Unless we did it in 2 years and kept this one.
Depending, we also have to remember that there is one more roof at some point that will need to be replaced. It'd be nice to do that maybe in the next few years too. And we don't have to spend all the building reserve money every year, that can, build up for bigger projects and stuff, so,
Which is unlike the general fund.
right.
But we get 2 furnaces, that would get us by for a while. I like the Temperite just cause it's $600 cheaper for both furnaces.
I think Temperite's been good for you guys here so far, haven't they?
We haven't used them much,
Yeah.
just this quote.
Yeah.
Emily talked at the last board meeting that she's using it down at the store,
Okay.
and they've done really well by her.
Yeah.
I've had them do service in a house I lived in.
Yeah, I've used them too, and I thought they were good.
It just makes sense, they're $600 cheaper for 2 units. Right, $9,200 to replace both these antiques. That's a better quote than I just got.
I make a motion to accept the Comfort Systems for the 2 furnace replacements.
A second. I got a no and a yes.
I'm no comment.
Those in favor? Aye. Motion carried.
No more flipping the
Yes.
breakers every single day.
Window coverings and blinds.
Yeah, so another thing, that's kind of interesting is, like when we did the tour and whatnot, is that there's varying ages on the window coverings with the blinds and whatnot. Some are newer, some are not, some are actual blinds, some are paper. You go into the library, it's just paper. So, we've got a lot of stuff going on, so I brought out a company I've used before at schools, Budget Lines. They're pretty reliable, again, they're a nationwide company, have offices here, and they gave us a pretty good quote. What I looked at was places where things are truly just broken. So Mrs. Wilson's room, which is the oldest in this building, some of the ones in the cafeteria multi-purpose room, just because they're broken, not the ones in the classroom, but the ones in the halls. But then I also looked at the library where the library is separate than my office, where the library, they're just like paper, which I've never actually seen
That's like
paper
mine.
blinds.
We're barely functional.
So what I'd like to recommend is it's only $5,000 to $5,095 to get all those areas done with new nice blinds. These are really good ones where they're also security. Everyone can see from the inside out, but people cannot see from the outside in. And they'd be really good. If we wanted to spend less, I also have a quote from him that doesn't include the library, and that would knock it down.
It's a library that's got the paper.
Yeah, that would knock it down to about 3,000.
So I think that's the only one you sent me, so,
Yeah, I've got a sticky.
yeah. Oh.
How many windows is that?
Quite a few, and actually, what costs the most is some of Jill's windows are huge. And what they actually did in
Which are not easy to open.
Those must be
So,
the
like,
$1,000
I have
ones.
to,
Yeah, so those
like,
are the
open
$1,000
them
ones.
to exit them, like I have to physically stand on a chair and stretch to barely be able to do both things to
I
get
guess
it
we're
open.
gonna start leaving them closed.
I do.
But if you look in Lexi's room, which the blinds were replaced much more recently, what they did is they actually did 2 blinds per window, which isn't, I mean, it works, but it's not as good security wise, where people can see through that middle part. With having a big one for the entire window, nobody can see through that when they're down.
Yeah, we're talking July, right? Alright, there we
Yeah.
go, there's our 15 grand.
Money gone.
I make a motion to accept the window coverings for all of them. 5,000, how much?
95.
Did you look in your paperwork?
Oh, where was it?
The second to last page.
Oh, okay,
Big
yeah,
packet.
yeah. I'm sorry, I thought we were done, I didn't see that one. Okay, yes, I move to accept the budget blinds for $5,095 for all of them.
I second. All those in favor? Aye. Motion carried.
Thank you.
24, 25 bus route.
It's the same old bus route we've had for years and years and years. I just need the board's approval so we can take it to the transportation committee in July for their approval. One bus hasn't changed in, I don't even know how long,
They
about
have
90 miles a day.
changed how far they go up the creek.
We don't go that way because it starts adding a ton of money
I
and a
know.
ton of time
So
for the
we
kids
used
on the
to.
bus. I know,
Okay.
yeah.
What was the last year, Jill, that they ran past the school? Ish.
How old's Blaze?
Oh, 20.
So he was here, so probably like 6, 7 years ago.
I was gonna say 2017 I started, we
Okay.
weren't doing it then, but.
Because we used to go all the way to the Department of Transportation for PAL kids.
Yeah.
And then we used to go all the way to Gravestick.
And we're looking for next year of only having 2 students pass the school.
We won't make you guys pay for that.
So,
I got you the paperwork already.
Yep.
I move to accept the 24-25 bus route.
Second. Those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Motion carried. Information on past and upcoming events.
Now, one thing I wanted to mention is I've been working with Bea, our lawyer, on updating all of our handbooks, as well as, since we've changed all these policies, I wanna make sure everything aligns. It's been a few years since they've been updated. Also, the federal government changed the, laws for, just talked with Mia's office, and they're kind of brainstorming what they're gonna do about this Title IX laws, because it actually is looking like it will conflict with state law. So there's quite a debate there, and I'm letting the lawyers kind of sort that out, but hoping to have brand new up-to-date handbooks for our district.
Alright. Next meeting, special meeting, reorganize the board, canvass votes, certified trustee candidate, appoint clerk, Monday, May 20th, 5 p.m. The next regular meeting is June 3rd, 5 p.m.
Okay, so one on the 20th.
And then we shall call it at 5:57.
Thank you, everyone.